So let's get this thing started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Career Expo session on jobs in digital and technology. I'm so happy you're here. I'm Maya Eaglin. I'm a digital reporter at NBC News. You can catch me on Stay Tuned. You can catch me on NBC News Now. And in this expo, you're going to learn all about the careers in digital and tech. And you'll also be able to ask questions from these incredible NBC professionals. So our NBC pros are going to explain what they do, from managing news crews and quality control to ensuring customers have a great experience using NBC Universal's digital products. They're also here to help you understand the different jobs available in digital and tech and what to expect if you do land a role. Let me tell you, y'all are in a great session, okay? These are some of the hidden roles they don't want you to know about, but there are so many incredible careers here. We're going to hear from so many amazing people. As always, we want this to be fully interactive. So if you have any questions, I already see one in the chat, feel free to pop it down below. And if you want to be on camera, there's a little button you can click to also do that. We're also joined by a few members of our NBC Universal recruiting team who can answer questions about job opportunities and the recruiting process. So I'm going to introduce everyone, and we're going to go around and hear from these amazing people. So first is Eunnie Park, an NBC News Group Customer Experience Director. We have Ron Robinson, who is a Technical Manager of Engineering at the Net News LA Bureau. We have Lisa Vucci, who is a Manager of Editing Operations at MSNBC, and Tanya McFarland, a Technical Manager for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon people. These are big, incredible careers, big, incredible little facets into the magic that's made at NBC Universal. And also standing by to help answer any questions about jobs available right now or the recruiting process, we have Emily Porter, who's our principal recruiter for NBC News and MSNBC, and Brittany Smeal, a talent acquisition recruiter for operations and technology. So thanks for joining us, everyone, today. So happy if you're on watching as a viewer, and of course to our panelists. I'm very happy to be chatting with y'all. I want to go around very quickly, like 30, 45 seconds. Brief description of what your job is and what your day-to-day looks like. I know that's like not a lot of time, but we have so many questions to get through. So let's kick it off with Eunnie.
Hi, nice to meet you all. So I'm part of the Consumer Insights team, and as the Director of Customer Experience, my job is to help the product and tech team better understand the needs, pain points, wants of our audience so that we can all work together to create a really seamless digital experience. So there are two actually parts to what I do day to day. One is just operationalizing the gathering and processing of all the feedback from our customers. So we have frontline customer support agents that need to have the right resources and information to help customers one-on-one. And then the second part is kind of collecting all that feedback that we hear from customers, which can be like thousands a day, and then translating that into insights for our product and tech and design teams so that they can do something about them.
Awesome. How about Ron?
Hi, I'm the Manager of Engineering here at the LA Bureau. We oversee all the equipment and gear that we use to put people on the air. So that could be live shots into shows, that could be pre-taped. We do studio operations as well. We have a control room where we do a West Coast nightly news playback. And yeah, every day is a little different. We get something thrown at us every time.
Lisa? Oh, Lisa, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Hi, my name is Lisa Vucci. I co-manage editors for the MSNBC editing department. I also handle editors for Nightly News with Lester Holt. I manage the day-to-day operations of the department, basically scheduling, working with editors and producers on day-to-day projects and anything for air. But that's basically it.
And Tanya.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tanya McFarland. I'm actually the new technical manager for The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. I supervise the technical crew, which is approximately 20 plus people. And that includes studio crew, camera, utility, lighting, all those sorts of things. And in the control room, it includes technical director, video prompter, graphics, etc. On any given day, I also serve as a frontline manager, not only for entertainment, but across the board with anything to do with news or digital platforms right here at 30 Rock. I help plan and execute large-scale productions and events like this one that you guys have been watching today. Last week on Jimmy Fallon, I worked on an 80s theme skit and show. And just yesterday, I helped plan and coordinate all the studio spaces for this live event. So it's, like Ron said, something different every day.
That is so cool. Okay, I see so many great questions feeding into the chat. Our team is going to basically filter them to me, and we're going to try to address as many as we can. Our first one is for Eunnie. So as someone who has transitioned from reporting to working on the customer experience side of news, what are some of the skills that you found were transferable to your current role?
Yeah, there are quite a few. I think the first is just being able to go beneath the surface, right? Just not just taking information at surface level, but asking constantly, like, why? What are the different aspects of, what we're hearing that we have to fully understand? Second part is synthesizing large quantity of information and then cutting through that noise to kind of find that compelling story that resonates with your audience. And in my case, that audience is, sometimes the internal stakeholders, like the product managers and designers. And then identifying trends, right? We just being able to take all this information, hear everything, and then seeing, okay, what are the patterns? Why is this happening? Is this interesting? Something that we should share out with the rest of the team.
I think that's a lot of great advice, and it's interesting to see the overlap in those areas. Okay, we have a question from the audience from Kim. She says, hi, I'm a grad student. I'd like to combine my experiences in media with tech. I'm considering getting a certification at a tech boot camp to become a sales engineer. Is that a position that you see at NBCU? Anyone want to talk about some of that?
I can take this one. So, hi everyone, I'm Brittany. I'm on the talent acquisition team. So I support the stations and then the teams that support the stations on a technology side. So I can say that we do have a lot of people that come from boot camps that I interview and we do place throughout the country based on where they're located. Sales engineer, we've had a lot of engineering students come through. We've had some with the sales engineer background. It just depends on what your ultimate career pathing is. And then we kind of put you into the right team to make sure that it's a fit all around.
Great. That's super great. Okay, our next question is for Lisa. So how has the shift from remote work been for broadcast news editors? Can people who are interested in a video editing career see work remotely as a permanent option?
Yes. The industry is moving that way. Engineers could tell you better, but yes, that it is sustainable. It's a totally different animal. It's a different environment, but it's very doable. And NBC does it very well. We do it very well at MSNBC.
And are you in the office now or are you at home?
I am actually in the office. Most of my days, every day is home, but I'm in the office today. I have employees working in the building, so I came in to see them. I came in for this, and I do come in often, or as often as I can. But my job is remote, and will remain remote until further notice.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's something that a lot of younger people are looking for is like remote options. So really glad to hear that is working out for you. Our next question is from Anthony Cortez. They say, for someone looking to get into post-production internships, what are some ways you can set yourself apart from other applicants? I might throw this to our recruiting team. Or if anyone else has any advice on how to stand out as an applicant.
I can take this one. So we actually get this question a lot, and I don't think there's any one correct answer. Honestly, I really like to tell people, I think that doing some research ahead of time and going in really confident to an interview is so important. Like knowing the team you're talking to, what are some recent wins, just some facts about their area of the business in general. It's baffling how many times I've heard feedback from hiring managers saying they didn't know anything about my show, they didn't know anything about my brand. So I know that's one way to set yourself up for success once you're in that, interview space. Making sure that you have a really refined resume ahead of time, that you're getting advice from people maybe in the industry, mentors, and giving it, multiple sets of eyes to review, I think is also really important. It's so sad to see, an error on a resume block somebody from an opportunity as well. But I really think just kind of doing the research, that'll also really help you be more confident when you're sending emails. Send those follow-up emails, stay on top of the opportunity, and get in early to opportunities too. I would say if you're in the space where you're looking, a good rule of thumb is to be checking the career site, every couple weeks. And that's, in line with the internship programs. I know that we still have openings on the local stations team right now. And then we're going to open up for the next round in January. So just kind of getting in those applications early, making sure that everything is really refined before you're sending it to somebody, because you only get that, one shot for them to review your materials, at least to get to the interview phase, and then knowing a lot about the business.
I think that's great advice, Emily. For my first NBC internship, it was with Nightly News. And one of the last questions was, can you name 3 correspondents on our show? And I was like, I can, because I'm prepared. But I'm glad I was prepared. I had my little sheet next to me. So always, always, always do your research, no matter where you're going. I think it's super, super important. All right, we're going to have an on-camera question. Our first one, people, get excited, from Trinity Robinson. So I'm going to have our team bring Trinity on up, and she's going to ask a question. Let's see if we can bring her up. If not, we will go to the next one. Trinity, are you there? All right, we are going to try for Chris Norris. If Chris Norris is on camera. If not, we're going to, let's go. Okay, I'm getting some note that we are having some tech issues. So we're going to go to the other prepared question. We're going to bring y'all on camera when we figure those out. So this is for everyone. What's the most popular entry-level job in your field right now? Who wants to take it first? Go for it, Tanya.
So let me just start by saying that there isn't just one entry-level job in technical operations in the area that I'm in. There's so many varied places that you can be looking at. One is the obvious, which is a camera or prompter or, lighting, all of those that you probably learned about in school. But there's also other areas that are really interesting. Hair, makeup, and wardrobe is one area. We have a staging team that takes care of props and set design and all these other things that are just really interesting and fun. And they're also a very integral part of the operation. So I would say try and figure out what areas are of interest of you. And if you get a chance to try them all, do that. Just because it will give you a more broad perspective as to what technical operations is.
I love that. Ron, what would you say?
Here at the LA Bureau, probably our most popular entry-level position is our utility asset tracking department. And the reason why that one is really good is because in that department, you get exposed to all the different aspects of production, whether that's a remote in the field or you're helping with the shoot here on our stage. It gives you a chance to kind of dabble in all the different aspects of production. And then if there's something that you really like or you have a calling to, you can pursue that. Right now, we have SAT truck operators, TDs, engineers who all started in our asset tracking utility department. So it's a testament to how popular that department is because it gives you exposure to all the different things we do.
Lisa, what would you say?
Entry-level position for MSNBC cable would be a cuts editor. Cuts editor would be cutting SOTs, sound on tape, VOs, voiceovers, and working with an editor, a a more experienced editor until they would be cut loose on their own and cutting for air. On the network side, it would be an assistant editor, somebody who would be responsible for setting up projects, digitizing, color correcting stuff that comes in, and then also working with a more experienced editor until they could work up until they could become the next level, which would be a craft editor. And a craft editor is somebody who is going to be doing packages, be doing shows, post-production, stuff like that. Somebody who's heavily into effects, After Effects, Photoshop, stuff like that. So that's the entry level.
And Eunnie, how about for you?
Yeah, so there are two different paths you can take. If you are more interested in the operations side, customer care agent is actually a really amazing place to start to just learn everything about the business and the way things are run in the back end. And then there's also the route to go to, if you want to focus more on the insights part, UX research. We have internships for UX research, and also, if you're studying human interaction design, things like that, there are opportunities to pursue it that way.
Awesome. Okay, our next question is from the audience, from Sonia or Sonia. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but they say, I'm interested in the tech field. The internship process is very competitive. Is there a volunteer program at your organization? Not sure if the recruiting team might be able to answer that, or if anyone's aware of some volunteer opportunities.
I can also take this one. So I don't think that we have any volunteer programs, but I would suggest that you try and network and do meet and greets with people who work in that field, who you find on LinkedIn. I think a lot of times, again, kind of going back to that mentor, that's really a way to open so many doors. So while we don't have those specific types of opportunities here, I think that maybe kind of reaching out to your network and figuring out another path, or, like how there might be some transferable skill, or just like getting advice from them would be a really good first start.
To follow up on that, I do a lot of informational conversations online with people that I meet, or someone that's recommended through a friend in the industry. So certainly, the candidates that I love the most are the ones that come prepared. They ask lots of questions about how I got started, or, how they can get a foot in the door. We can't always guarantee a job, but it at least gives them an idea of, where they should be heading as they prepare to start their early career.
Yeah, I think both of those are really important points. And you might be surprised of who will respond to you on LinkedIn. A lot of us are kind of active or have connections to our network on LinkedIn. So if you just reach out saying you're a student, you're interested in this field, wanting 15 minutes to have a quick, informal, informational on Zoom, a lot of people are going to say yes. Or maybe they can redirect you to someone who might be a better fit. But as Tanya said, you want to come prepared. Do not go into those calls like, I'm interested in what you do, so can you tell me how to get there? Now, you got to study where they went to school, where they started out, what the latest thing in the field is. Like, you've got to be sharp to be on it, and that's how you make a good impression. And that can often lead to an open door opportunity from someone already in the building, right? So networking is so, so, so important. All right, on to our next question. This one is for Ron. So Ron, with technology changing so quickly and so often, how do you stay current with what's happening in the industry, and how can students do the same if they're interested in getting a job in tech?
Okay, wow, how to stay current. One of the things I always do, I attend all the big trade shows, NAB, Cine Gear. That's where you're going to see the latest and greatest equipment that all the manufacturers make. I also subscribe to American Cinematographer. I reach out to all the rental houses in the area too. They are usually on the cutting edge of new gear and equipment coming out. So for anyone wanting to get into this field, you have to stay current. Every year and a half, 2 years, some new technology comes out that changes the way we do our work here. So it's a constant process where you have to stay current. So I would say trade shows are a good avenue. You can go online. A lot of the equipment manufacturers, they offer classes and seminars and things like that. So I think that's a good start.
Awesome. Okay, hope everyone's taking notes. We're going to try to bring someone on camera one more time. We're going to give it one more go. So Carolyn Ross, if you can please request your camera, we're going to bring you up to ask your question. We'll see if it works this time. If it doesn't, we'll pivot. Here she is. Yes. Okay, great. You're on mute, but I see you. Oh, let's see if we can unmute Carolyn. One second, she's saying. 1 second. I know this always happens. So sorry, we still can't hear you. Are you able to unmute? Okay, she can't unmute. Oh, I'm so sorry, Caroline. Okay, type your question and we're going to try to get it answered, okay? Let's try to bring Hector Garcia up. Let's see if that works. And Caroline, we're going to do our best to answer your question. Hector, see if you can come on up on stage. We're going to try to get our people to bring you up. Hey, Hector. Can you unmute? Uh-oh. Okay, so maybe this is a microphone problem. Oh, no. Okay, type your question out, Hector. I'm going to make sure that we get it, okay? Perfect. Thank you all so much for trying. Thank you for staying with us. Here's a question from Robbie. Robbie says, greetings from Ohio State's Office of Diversity and Inclusion. As a staff member, how can I expose our underrepresented college students to these job opportunities? So in terms of racial, ethnic minorities, students with disabilities, first-gen students, how can we expose them to these opportunities?
I can take a little bit of this one. Tanya, if you want to tag team with me.
Sure.
One thing that we do is our team works very, very closely with either different websites and other organizations as well, just to make sure that we have a huge focus on diversity. So I think it would be very important to reach out to someone from the recruitment team and let them know that you want to partner with us from a larger side of it, being with your whole department. We would love that. We would love to have that opportunity to meet with you and, kind of learn what you guys are doing, so that way we can incorporate that with what we're doing. It's a huge focus of ours. So I know that we definitely would take any and all involvement from you that you would want to provide to us.
Tanya, anything to add?
I'm currently on the DEI Council for Rock Center Ops, and we partner with a lot of different groups. Like I'm trying to think, RealWorks is one of them, where we have events like this that allow people in underserved communities to participate in something where they can ask questions. They can, get more information about what's going on. So I would always keep an eye out on that. I know a lot of schools also do them locally. When I went to Hofstra University, and, we would have tech events at Hofstra where we would have speakers come and talk to us that were in the industry. And that was also really helpful. So, watch out for those and definitely stay active in looking for those types of opportunities.
Awesome. Tanya, I'm going to kick it right back to you with this question. So you've held a lot of different roles in your 25 plus years at NBC, and you've seen shifts in technology from the control room to probably on stages as well. So what are some of the positions that the pandemic coupled with new technology have helped create in recent years?
Oh God, the pandemic sort of brought us to the forefront of experimenting with new technology. These are all things that we thought about, but we really weren't sure we could achieve. And that sort of, sped us up in the process of doing it. Why? Because we had to send people home and keep them safe, right? So what we did was we sent all our anchors home. We partnered with some of our remote teams, like our Long Island City team, and those are field tech managers. And we set up robotic cameras inside the anchors' homes. Without a manned camera in the house, we were able to remotely access those cameras and keep us on the air. A lot of networks actually went off the air. And we were the only one that remained on the air because we were able to explore that technology, perfect it. Currently, we still have some graphics people home. We have our prompter ops are home right now, and we've continued to keep them there for now until, a full return to work happens. And so, we're super excited to improve that technology because you never know what comes up again. And, it was just amazing. We really didn't think we could do that. And now we know we can.
That's great. Okay. I want to circle back to another question. This is from Nathan, similar to one we've already asked, but it has a very interesting twist. So how do you stand out as an applicant, but if you're trying to switch into tech and digital from a different field? So is there any advice for people wanting to kind of change or morph their resume and cover letters to fit into this field?
I can speak from a recruiter's perspective first and then flip it over to one of our amazing panelists. But I had a little bit of an odd path into recruiting. I actually used to work in news for about 10 years. So I'm very sensitive to a transferable skill set myself. I've landed in a role where I was able to take my skills and use them to now build teams. And it's just been such a wonderful opportunity for me. So like I said, I'm very sensitive to people looking to transfer. And I actually speak to a lot of candidates that I feel like have a transferable skill set. I would tell you to really research what the role is that you would be wanting to move into, and then look at job descriptions for your current position and that position. Find those pieces that really translate and transfer, and that's how you should work up your cover letter. Oftentimes in a job application, depending on the type of role, there may be less frequency for one job to really drill down and review cover letters. So even going a step above, finding out who that hiring manager is, finding out a way to connect with them, sending them, that cover letter, these pieces, separately from the job application, I think could really set you up for more success as well.
Anyone else have any advice to add for someone who's looking to kind of switch over into this field? Something to remember?
Yeah, I can add to that. I mean, I think the most important thing is to sort of have a story so that it doesn't feel random. So that even if it's some very small aspect of your old job that makes sense for the next job that you want, make sure that thread is there and that you make that clear to the hiring manager or the talent acquisition team. And then, if you have the resources, trying to take some classes here and there that help kind of supplement those skill set that you're going to need in your new job, that also helps a lot. And then I think the other part is if you're able, you might have to kind of take a step back in your career to kind of, it might be a slight demotion, but it just, starting from a lower position and then going up from there, it might be a very important thing that you do for the long term.
That's great. Okay. Next question is from Natalie, who is watching. They asked, let's say you land an entry-level position. How do you thrive in that role? And I'm going to add to this, is there a trait in someone that you really remember, or someone who was on your team who was entry-level and you were like, they crushed it? What was that trait? Ron, let's start with you.
So if you already land the position, I think the best way that you can stand out and advance is keep learning. Never get comfortable in the position that you're currently in. Keep learning, see what other new skills you can bring to that position, and that will generally lead you to success.
Lisa, what would you say?
I'd say find a mentor. Find somebody who you or a path that you want to take and work with that person. Find somebody who in my side is say there's a craft editor and you're an entry level position. Reach out to that person, ask them questions, train with them, ask them to show you things, and work from there. But mentoring, find somebody to mentor you.
Eunnie, how about you?
I think just showing enthusiasm and passion for what you do goes a really long way. I'm always like, when I'm looking at people who I work with, when it's clear to me that they want more and that they're happy to do it, they're going to get, I'm going to be talking to them more and giving them, assignments that might help them.
And Tanya?
I would say flexibility, and flexibility. Be flexible. You're not always going to land the perfect job the first go around. So, like everyone said, be enthusiastic, ask questions, use that as opportunities to make connections with people in the areas that you want to focus on. Do informational sessions, I remember asking people if I could spend a day with them, and that allowed me to really see what it is they did day to day. Things like that are really just a great way to get started.
I'm going to add another one. I would set up bi-weekly check-ins with my manager when I was an intern, and that's something that's transferred over into my job now. It's maybe now monthly, but I think it's really good if you can create short-term goals, long-term goals, and maybe if you have a few questions to always get asked. No one is going to tell you to do that or print out a worksheet to do that. Like, you have to be very self-motivated, I think, to leave like a lasting impression. So try to have check-ins. If it's not with your direct manager, maybe it's with your mentor, so you can have like those very clearly defined goals and you can track your progress. Our next question is for Eunnie and Tanya. So y'all have switched over from the editorial side to the tech side. What's been the biggest challenges within that so far?
I guess I can start. So when I was on the editorial side, I was in some ways thinking about things very one-sided from the perspective of serving our readers. But then I think when I transitioned to this role, I had to remember that my stakeholders are not just the end users, the readers and the viewers, but also the internal stakeholders. So kind of developing empathy for people I work with and the challenges that they face on a daily basis in being able to serve our end users. I think that was something that was not that I didn't really have innately, and then I had to sort of develop those over time.
Tanya, what would you say?
I would say I started on the technical side and switched to production and then back to tech. I almost felt like I had to prove myself at the beginning, just because, people assume that you just have one skill set. So it's really important for you to showcase how one skill set can translate to another. I think Emily had mentioned that earlier. Let's just say I started as a graphics operator on the tech side. And when I switched to editorial, though I didn't work as a producer, I had control room experience, which allowed me to be a good producer. I sort of knew I was way ahead of where maybe a new PA might have been that had never worked in a control room environment. So, find ways to make those connections. It can be challenging, but be creative. And make that sync so people understand that you're actually an asset and not a burden to a team that may think you don't know enough.
Right. No job is too small, I think, especially as you're starting out, to learn as much as you can. You have no idea where you're going to go. You might think you know where you're going to go. You do not know where you're going to go. So if you are the person in the room who knows about audio, who knows the lingo, who knows connections around the building or where something is in the back of a closet, that's going to be to your benefit, just like Tanya was saying. All right, next question. This is for everyone. 3 skills that you think top candidates must have to be in your field. Ron, I'm going to kick it off with you. I know I didn't give you a lot of time to think, but off the top of your head. 3 skills.
3 skills. You got to be a self-starter, self-motivating. You got to have good troubleshooting skills. And you also have to be, I'm going to steal one of Tanya's words, flexible, especially in the news business. We work all kind of hours, days, and shifts. So I think those are the 3 important ones.
Lisa.
Communication skills, key. Teamwork, definitely. You're not an island. You're definitely working with a team of editors. You're working with a producer-editor combo. And time management is very important, extremely important, especially when you're working under pressure, especially when you have producers giving you a lot of clips that you need to cut for a specific show. You need to know which is going to air first, and how long something's going to take to cut. So that's very important.
And Eunnie, 3 skills.
I'd say curiosity, and empathy, and as Lisa said, communication, written and verbal. Yeah.
Tanya, what would you say?
As I said before, flexibility is a big one. Be flexible in the work that you do. Be flexible in taking any opportunity people give you, even if it doesn't fit your role in that moment. Also, I think for me, being highly organized is a big part of it. I make great effort to be prepared, highly organized, and then last, I would say have some thick skin. This is a competitive field. There is a lot of people that want the same job, and it's important that you put yourself out there.
All such great advice. Can y'all believe we are already at the end of this session? Where has the time gone? I have no idea, but I hope you all took away something really great from this. And look, you've made a connection, right? Your viewership, that counts. So if you have any other additional questions, please reach out, come find us, tell us you were in this session, and we'll chat. I'm sure everyone on this call would be happy to answer more questions if you have. So Eunnie, Ron, Lisa, Tanya, thank you so much. Brittany, thank you so much. And Emily, thank you for joining this session. If you want to know more about tech jobs and media, we have another session on October 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's October 27th, 5 p.m. Eastern, to talk about other jobs that are available right now. So that's pretty much it, y'all. I really hope you enjoyed this session. Again, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. We are very accessible. We are glad that you joined us. We hope you took away something from this chat, and hopefully see you soon, but enjoy the rest of your session.